Hey, it's Nikki Darling with another episode of the What's Up Wenatchee podcast. On our past episodes, we've dealt with a lot of different issues that are dealing with our community as far as local government and legislation, and even to get a chance to talk with the current sitting mayor about a lot of those issues. We do know that he is not seeking reelection in the next go around. So that is bringing up a lot of question marks for the leadership in Wenatchee. And we know a couple of different people who are thinking about maybe running for mayor or that have said they're not interested. So we made a conscious decision that we're going to be keeping a close eye on this. And I have gotten an exclusive with one of the candidates who it's the declaration comes up next week. So we are pre-declaration for making the decision to run for mayor. And this guy is going to sit down with us for just a little while today and tell us why he is excited for running for mayor, why he's made this decision, and just give us an idea of he's all about. I'm very happy to introduce to the What's Up Wenatchee audience to the future mayor of Wenatchee, Mike Poirier. Welcome to the program, Mike.
Thanks, Nikki, for having me. Seriously, this is great. It's an opportunity to show people what I've been doing and what I want to do for the future.
So, I mean, let's start right there. Like, what have you been doing most recently? I think I know because I know you and I follow what you have been doing and I know your family, and we can kind of talk about that in just a little bit. But for people who aren't familiar with you and your work in the advocacy of this community, what have you been doing most recently?
Yeah, most recently I've been on the Schland Douglas Transportation Council, and that helps with the Confluent Parkway. And the current mayor, Kuntz, he spearheaded that and he did a great job. And I really want to be out there to be mayor to continue his efforts and continue for the strength of this city. So it's kind of exciting. It's been like over a year process, depending on what I wanted to do. And I got so much support. I said, this is going to be my future.
Right, and the transportation budget and sitting on that and being involved in that has to have been such a huge project, the Confluence Parkway. And now it's let's talk about that just for a minute. I don't wanna get too much into the weeds on that because I wanna know about you, but since you're involved in that, and it is such a huge project that's gonna be affecting everybody in this community for the next, just the construction of it alone for the next 5 or 6 years, but for the betterment, hopefully, of our increase in population and people on the roads and people commuting are those the support of those types of projects and expansion in Wenatchee something that you are in support of?
Boy, you brought up a lot of issues.
Sorry, yeah.
No, that
I went
was
right for it.
which is great. So the Confluence Parkway, with the commissioners, with the PUD that okayed this, and we finally legislation just passed a week ago about where this money's going to actually come through. Even though they give it to you, they have to figure out ways how it's going to come to you. But I also believe we are in a wonderful position for Wenatchee Valley that we have a responsibility, and we've been doing a good job, but we have a responsibility to keep like land trust and keep going with the land here, because if we're going to take away, and just like the commissioners at the PUD says, we got a responsibility. Everybody has responsibility. If you're going to take something, then put it back. The nice thing is about this, we have the land that we are transitioning over. But I also believe the future for me is to look for more land
Mm.
for land trust, or more land for us as people enjoy our valley. But I've always believed the Confluence Parkway for the next 20 years, or 20 years from now, if this wasn't happening, there'd be a lot of frustration, as you can imagine, with traffic. But I want both. I want to relieve the traffic, and I want to now start looking for even more land for our future. So, and it's interesting because you brought up households, whatever. I'm also on a different board
Okay.
there's 1,000 households projected in Wenatchee by 2050. So these are all future based on statistics of what's going to happen and what we need to do.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Wenatchee is getting any smaller as far as population. People just it is a place that people wanna keep moving to or retiring to. It's a nice place to live and raise family. And speaking of family, like, you are a family man, you're a business owner, and so let's introduce people to who you are and as not just the future mayor and what you believe in, yeah, as far as local government and the expansion and growth of our city, but who you are historically and and what legacy you're leaving here as a person. Right? You have not only been working in any kind of philanthropy and advocacy work within the community for almost 40 years, but I mean, you have built a business here and raised a family here. I mean, that is a big deal for people like me who aren't from here can really look up to somebody like you and say, this is a place that I could do the same thing.
Sometimes I take things for granted. What you just said puts a smile on my face. Starting from 8 years old picking cherries, and everybody has picked cherries. All can all think of their fingers getting rubbed with calluses. I mean, I still close my eyes and I look at cherries. And so I had the opportunity to work here. And I always say I worked here, played sports here. I go to college, Eastern Washington University. And fortunately enough, I met my wife, Maureen, who decided that we both wanted to come back in this community. So we came back in 1989 and with no job actually. But we knew we wanted to live in the community.
Stop it.
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding you. I had no job and my wife and I had a tough situation and I hope my wife's okay with this. We lost a child. And so we made that decision to come back here because we knew this is where our family going to be. So
Mm.
then it's a responsibility, of course, to create a business. And now it's the business I'm in. It's been 45 years, and it's kind of nice because we've gone to like 6 employees, and so it's nice to always give back to the community. Whatever it's worth, the community. I've been involved in the community for quite a few years before even city government. It's just a passion. I believe you have that responsibilities. Wenatchee High School. I was in charge of Meals on Wheels, and so I think it's there. I think most times most people are good people, and they have what it takes. They just need to be asked sometimes.
Yeah, I've talked about this sense of responsibility to the community with other community leaders like Darcy Christopherson from Apple Blossom and Alex Haley from the Pack. Like we've talked about this and where it might come from, and how Wenatchee is such a great community for instilling that in its children and there's so many programs like Apple Blossom for young girls that it's just as you grow up, you get involved. Not every we do kind of take it for granted because not every community has something like Apple Blossom or has programs to get kids involved in volunteering and philanthropy and giving back to the community but this community does. Like it built upon it.
I think the best question you ask is, "Can you help me?" And
Mm.
I believe this is a great opportunity for me. I believe we need more people to engage in our community as far as the government part. But I believe if it isn't government, at least engage in something. And tons of people are doing that. And we have to continue that for our future for Wenatchee. And I it's just the right thing to do it. And I know everybody's listening right now, watching this, they know it's the right thing. And if you want to get involved, you do not have to go very far.
Mhm.
You really don't to find where if you have, call me, call the city,
Right?
call
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 me.
you, call
Yeah.
call Nikki and say, "Hey, this is what I like to do. Where do I start?" And I'm telling you, there's thousands of things. And you don't have to commit for 50 hours a week. Maybe it's 1 hour a month, you
Yeah.
know? And
And I guarantee you the people that you're helping will be so grateful that you did. Can we talk about your wife for a second? Because she is totally the better half of you guys.
Of course, of
I'm a
course,
little biased.
of course.
Yeah.
I've been married 37 years coming up, and a lot of people are gonna know this last name. It's Sachs, SAX. and I married a local gal, and we both graduated from Eastern. She taught school for 30 years, and one of our many proud things of our children, but two of my daughters teach special ed in Wenatchee,
Yeah.
and it's the idea you don't have. It's the idea of giving back. So I think my wife and I have both taught our children to give back. But
Mhm.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
like I said, I am a little biased because your wife admittedly is one of my best friends in the world, and but I did tell her that if I thought you were a complete jerk, I would tell everybody and let them know, and that's not the case. I think you're a wonderful, smart man, so I will
uh,
tell everybody that because I tell the truth and I'm real all the time. So she thinks the world of you, and I just love you guys and your entire family. You're right. You have 2 daughters who are special ed teachers, but you have 3 daughters altogether, and I've gotten a chance to get to know all 3 of them, and your grandchildren are just oh, they're so adorable. And my kiddo gets to play with your grandkids sometimes, which is a trip. There was one time, I'll tell you, we had set a play date where your grandkids and my kiddo were gonna play, and we had to cancel for some reason. Trenton wasn't feeling well, and your granddaughter almost had a complete and utter breakdown. And you know how she is, she's just kind of flippant, like,
yeah.
she doesn't really get attached to like, she's just one of those kids, but to like, your wife called me and said that she had this complete breakdown because Trenton wasn't coming over, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry."
E- Every and I know you're talking about my granddaughter, but every child's special, right? And you look at those proud moments. So Easter a few weeks ago, we were over at Easter egg hunt, and as kids can get rambunctious, it's not their fault, excited.
Yeah.
There's a little girl that didn't get 3 Easter eggs because everybody's supposed to get 3 Easter eggs. And so my grandson went over and gave him one, nobody prompted him. He just went over and gave one of his Easter eggs over. And that's a proud moment to watch
Mhm.
because nobody told him to do that, but somehow it's instilled in him to do the right thing. And what's the difference if you're 5 years old or if you're
50 years old, yeah.
59 years old? And it's still doing the right thing. So, yeah, and all children are great, and your grandchildren, everybody's grandchildren, not yours, but everybody's
Yeah.
grandchildren's are the best, right? But you do love and you do have influence over your children and grandchildren, and they watch you every day, and they will admire you if you do when you do the right thing.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. And you know what, Mike? Sometimes doing the right thing, no matter if you're 5 or 59, doing the right thing is not always the easy thing, right? Like your grandson handing over his Easter egg, probably really difficult, right?
yeah.
Doing the right thing. So even at 59, making the decision to run for mayor, bringing it back around to that, even though it is the right thing and you know in your heart it's the right thing for the future of this town as far as leadership goes and you're in that position to be a great leader, it's probably not the easiest decision. Am I right?
Yes, I've been thinking about it for a couple of years. Mayor Kuntz put me on a couple of them, or I volunteered on a couple of the committees that were on that. They're all the other mayors and commissioners around. So obviously it's been known, or at least for me to get educated enough to understand this. So it's great to have all the support. I mean, this is before I even file, and I must have 1,000 people that came up to me and said, "Hey, we want you for mayor. We like how the leadership's been going." There is some changes or some things that I do want to make, but again, the existing Mayor Kuntz has done a wonderful job. He's saved our city with the town Toyota Center as far as budgets, and I'm on the finance committee, and I've been on that twice now. And
I'm losing track of
yes,
how many committees you're on.
well,
I just I'm trying to keep track.
I I think it's important to be educated,
Yeah.
and nobody should run for mayor unless they're willing to sacrifice or do the right thing, however you want to call it. You have a responsibility. I mean, you can't run for mayor just saying, okay, I want to run for mayor. You need to be able to be educated, to be a leader, and show the other city council people this is the direction we're going, and learn from them and learn from all this experience. The main reason I'm doing it is because I believe I am the best person to do this.
Yeah.
If I didn't believe that, I would not run. If there's somebody that I believe is better, I want to support them.
Yeah.
No doubt, no doubt about it. Because I want what's best for Wenatchee. I really do. That's deep down. That's what that's my goal. And I'm fortunate enough to be able to my business runs. I can have it run by itself. I have another owner. And so my commitment's gonna be that I'm gonna let my business now run
Uh-huh.
with a new owner, a part owner on it, and then dedicate it even more so to the city, when I'm there.
So it sounds like you have a pretty good relationship with Mayor Kuntz.
Mayor Kuntz graduated, unfortunately, from the University of Washington. Just kidding. And but I've known Mayor Kuntz since he was in high school, and he you know what? Same thing. Good family, good person, and I think it just needs to continue. Yes, I have a great relationship with Mayor Kuntz. We argue about things, and we should argue about things because we both want what's best for Wenatchee, and that's important.
Yeah, constructive debate is a part
Constructive
of
debate, that's a lot better than me saying fighting.
Yeah, I am working on my diplomacy, so
Maybe I need to get a
you
little bit
may
better.
yeah, yeah. I'll help you.
Perfect.
Oh my goodness. Well, it seems like he is working, to with you on these committees and things like that, so that it should help the transition into new leadership. When you become the future mayor of Wenatchee. So, or you are now the future mayor of Wenatchee when you actually become the mayor of Wenatchee. And it is good to see that you have already some support before you're even declaring. That must feel good on your part.
It's great. I truly have a list of 1,000 names, and I receive phone calls from people saying, "Will you run?" And I've been receiving those. I actually received 4 years ago, they wanted me to run for mayor, and I said, "No, Mayor Kuntz deserves one more term."
Mhm.
And so it's been out there, and I'm still getting calls every day, truthfully, to say, "We wanna support you." And to be honest with you, I'm looking for people that wanna endorse me, and I do have a site,
Yep, I just put it up
wenatcheevalley.com.
on the
Oh, you did?
screen. Wenatchee, it was perfect timing. You did it great.
Well
I was
well
like right on cue.
that way you can see a little bit more of what I've done, what my commitments are, what commitments should be for the future. But yeah, I'd love for people to sit there, even if you sit there and say, "Hey, I don't like what's going on."
Mhm.
You know what? That's what I want.
Yeah.
Because if I can get people that want to help me, that's important. Important is you call the beta constructive. I call it
Constructive debate, yeah.
debate. It helps us all to realize as long as we keep our open minds, it's like, "Oh, wait, I forgot about, gee, we need to get some more land over here because we took away some land over here." We need those conversations.
Right, I think sometimes the general community forgets that the mayor or people in their local government who are in leadership are human beings as well, right? And we're all fallible and we're all trying to do the best we can with what we're handed in any given situation. And even when you are in the leadership position of mayor, a lot of people are going to agree with decisions that you make. And there's people who are going to disagree with every decision that you make. Doesn't matter. And those are going to be the same people in different situations. So you have to walk this diplomatic, here's that word again, fine line, and not, even including me. And I know you, right? I'm not going to agree with every decision that you make, or I'm going to agree with some of them. So I have to trust that you are there making the best decision for the community as a whole. But we talk a bit about transparency
Yes, transparency
in
and what you're
communication.
talking about, it to me is outreach. And I one of my future thoughts is having some more outreach programs.
Mhm.
And because not everybody can make it at certain times to the city council. but that doesn't mean your representative shouldn't be able to talk to you and bring those subjects up to the city council. So I brought this up actually at a work session a month or two ago, and that's something I want to encourage more outreach so people can interact.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna take advantage. I hope people are gonna take advantage of that. Just being out here and knowing that's one of the issues. People feel like they're just talking to a brick wall half the time when trying to interact with local government officials. So, knowing that that's one of the things that it's important to you to have two-way communication, I think people will find that important.
Communications, even if we don't agree,
Mhm.
if we communicate and we're willing to keep an open mind, we're gonna be okay. It's okay not to agree on everything, but it's not okay if people have closed minds. And so yeah, I really truly believe in transparency. I want people to sit there and say, "You told me this so many times that I get it." And I don't know. The government is just it's just people, right? So
Well, people get a little iffy and punch drunk when we talk about politics nowadays,
yeah,
and just the word politics, it brings up the just memories or visuals of extreme right or extreme left or Democrat or Republican, and it's very divisive, right? Politics in general. So, I don't find you divisive. Like, I don't find you as somebody who I find you just the opposite. So,
political party.
poli
Sorry to interrupt, but political
yeah,
party. Both political parties have great things.
yeah.
So why not take the best for Wenatchee
Mhm.
and use that? So
So
yeah,
you are deciding not to run with either political party,
I want what's best for Wenatchee. So to me, what's best for Wenatchee is to take things from both parties. So and that's my goal. Yeah, if I thought of being a Democrat or Republican meant it's better for the city, then that would be fine. But I truly believe let's use everything we have here to do what's best for all of us.
yeah.
And so, yeah, I get a question. A lot of people ask me those questions.
It'll be interesting as we move through the rest of the campaign to maybe speak with you a bit more about what things from the Democratic side, what things from the Republican side you align with and that you think are gonna be applicable. But I think that's neither here nor there. We've kind of talked a bit more about being, fiscally conservative and socially liberal, and I can relate to that. There's a bit more of where I align. I mean, your thoughts on that,
Fiscal responsibility, that's the key.
right?
I mean, and that's what's nice, been on the city council finance committee, and I've been asked to be on it again. But yeah, you have to be fiscal responsibility, but the same thing, like homeless is an issue that's not going away,
Yeah.
but we cannot we can't enable people either. So we have to figure out what's best. Every community, this is a situation we're going through the whole country, and every community take care of their responsibility. The question is, don't take more than your responsibility. So how do you do that and stay within the laws? And the safe parks have been working out great. There's other cities that are actually looking at us of how we demonstrated do not enable, and we're really that's one of my big things is and so if somebody's at safe parks and they have 20 bicycles on top of their motorhome, they have to improve. So improvement for some people is not the same improvement for other people. So we want to make sure they know there's services here that can help, and we are educating people with those
Mhm.
services. And maybe that person with the 20 bicycles on their motorhome, they have to get rid of one a week. That's an improvement. So we need to look at the positives. It might not be an improvement in some people's eyes, but if we can educate people and keep going with this, it's good. And again, I don't want to be an open city that says everybody come here. That's enabling. I'm not doing that.
Mhm.
We got to be fiscal responsible and do the right thing. It's hard.
Well, again,
Hard.
you have to remember that they're human beings too. Just like you or the mayor or anybody else, like we tend to either put people up on pedestals and forget that they're human beings, or we put people down in the dirt and forget that they're human beings having a human experience. So let's try and just be nicer to everybody.
It's somebody's mom, it's somebody's dad, it's somebody's child,
Mhm.
it's somebody's brothers, it's somebody's sister. We have to have compassion, but same token, you do have to be fiscally responsible. It is hard. It isn't easy. And most of us know people that have issues, mental issues or drug issues or alcohol issues. And it's no easy. There's no special sauce,
Mhm.
it's just,
Wouldn't that be
it's not.
nice?
Yeah. Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be nice?
Yeah. People think there is, but there is. It's hard work.
It's hard
It's
work.
hard work. It's hard work for everybody, and
Yeah.
everybody's out there doing the best that they can.
But again, people are good people.
Mhm.
I'm looking in this camera saying, "You're good," because it's true. Because I do believe humans are good people.
Innately, yeah. What does your I know you're really close with your family. I love like, you live next door to your daughter and grandchildren,
My
and
my
your other daughter lives with you.
my oldest daughter bought our house that our children raised in, and it was too big of a. It's like 3,000 square feet. And it was too big, and they started a family, so it was the right thing for them to buy our house, and then we built the house,
Right
a
next
small a
door.
small house next door to them. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, so
Are
that's
you
good.
kicking yourself in the butt because of that one? Or you love it?
we we overall it's a great thing. And then my other daughter Emily is about a mile away, and her husband, and they have a young daughter. So
Mhm.
yeah, no, it's
Are they excited that you're running?
I think they know I think they believe I'll do a good job, so
Mhm.
they care about the city too.
Yeah.
And so, and I think my daughters, all three daughters, would vote whoever they thought would do the best job, even if it wasn't me. And I
I
gotta tell you, that's
100% believe that.
that is cool.
Yeah.
That's a neat thing if you think about it. If you raise your children and say, "Do the right thing," and they sit there and say, and they'll tell me, they'll right out tell me,
I'll vote against
I'll
you.
do the right thing." So,
That holds you to a high standard,
yeah,
right? Like, they're gonna keep your feet to the fire,
yeah,
make sure your integrity is
yeah,
intact because, "Hey, dad, if you don't do the right thing, I'm gonna vote for the other guy or
yeah,
gal or
yeah,
whatever,"
yeah.
right? Yeah.
I like that. To me, that means I my wife and I raised them. We did okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys did a great job. Well, Mike, this has been an honor to have you here and talk about this
Yeah.
a little bit. But well, if we can, we'll get you back on. I know it's going to be a busy season for you going forward through the campaign. We've got the primaries in August, and then we're going to breeze through the primary, and then we'll see you in November for the election. So we'll want everybody to get out there, get registered to vote, and check out what Mike is all about at WenatcheeValley.com. You can see all of the different boards that you've been sitting on over the years, check out your history, and also send in an endorsement, which would be awesome. So, any kind of personal or professional or political experience that maybe you've had with Mike in the past, you can write that in and it'll be highlighted on the website, WenatcheeValley.com. And we'll see you out there on the campaign trail.
Thank you. This was fun.
Yeah.
I like this.
Oh, good. I'm glad you had fun because the rest of the campaign's going to be crap.
Uh,
Thanks, man.
Thank you.